You've got like the far left fanatics who, I mean, the president's political genius is he's encouraged the far left now to come out in defense of violent crime in our big cities. But say what you will about them, they're very angry right now and they're very motivated. And so I would encourage all Republicans and everybody, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent, who thinks that we're doing a good job, you got to remember to get out there and vote in 2026. We've accomplished a lot. The president's approval numbers are very strong. People are happy with what Republicans are doing. I mean, we inherited a mess, the largest peacetime debt in the history of the United States of America, a real inflation crisis, of course, the wide open southern border. We've done a lot in 7 months, but look, there's a lot of additional work to do. That's one of the reasons why we have these 4-year terms, is to do as much as we possibly can. That's the good news. And I think the American people reward you politically when you run on something and you actually do that something. You know, a great political mind, one of the president's pollsters once told me that anger usually wins midterm elections. And because we've done so much what we said that we were going to do, our people aren't angry. They look at the president, they look at the administration, and they're happy with what we're doing.
I want to talk to Joe Siracusa, my man on international events, about what's going on in Chicago, which is where Joe comes from. And we've spoken about this a few times, and it certainly lit up over the weekend, Joe, with that AI-generated post of Apocalypse Now and, you know, Donald Trump getting involved with AI images that a lot of people took very seriously. Do you think he's going to go in or not with so much build-up now to clean up Chicago?
Oh, I think he's going to go in. His Homeland Security people said today that they were going to have a number of ICE operations and things like that. Yeah, the president is going in. Now, I know he tends to use a lot of hyperbole and metaphors, and the apocalypse now isn't going to scare too many Chicagoans. They grow up in Chicago, and they live with the apocalypse every day. But look, he's serious. Now, Senator Duckworth has been on the morning shows along with Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson, and they make it very clear that these people are not welcome. On the other hand, the naval station is waiting to receive a number of people, and they are going to go in, and there'll probably be some problems. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, Pete, the National Guard went to Kent State, and they weren't supposed to have bullets in their live rounds, but terrible things happen. So, you know, we know there's always that possibility. But look, the president has staked his reputation here on dampening crime in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Baltimore. And so they'll be going in, and they're going after a lot of these undocumented immigrants. I mean, that's very clearly what they want. They want to sweep up homeless people on the streets. They want to sort of clean the place up. Now, look, this is very important for Trump to look like he's in control. His opinion polls came out today, and he only has a 43% approval rating. So, you know, and a lot of people, he's looking for a way to improve himself. And Trump is your ultimate television presenter. He's looking for ways to boost his ratings. And one of the ways to boost his ratings is to follow through on what he's talking about, whether it's Hamas or Putin or Ukraine or whatever it is. He has to be seen to be finishing whatever he's doing, or he's going to look like the last guy. And you know, Pete, it's only 4 years since you and I talked about the Kabul exit. Imagine that. It's only 4 years since we left that place in such a mess. And so the president wants to look like he's doing something. And, you know, he he probably will do something, but I believe he will go into Chicago, probably send in a couple thousand federal troops and all the rest of it. But look, what happens after that is really anybody's guess, because things can go sour, or it could be all right. But you can't have guardsmen picking up the garbage, or watching traffic, that kind of thing. They have to do serious things.
On this post, though, don't people know it's just a wind-up? Like, it's clearly an AI image.
Of course it's a wind-up. And on one level it is quite funny, but in this environment it's also chillingly real. Now, certainly the president isn't doing an Apocalypse Now beach invasion with the 1st Cavalry Division, but it does strike at the uncertainty that so many people are feeling. I mean, look what's happened in DC. Yes, crime is down and there's been a roundup of illegal guns, which is something that the pro-gun MAGA base might have a bit of a problem with. But, for example, in DC, these federal crimes that ICE and others are bringing to the grand juries in the Capitol are not meeting the grand jury's really low threshold for a prosecutable case. As I often say, a good prosecutor could get an indictment against a ham sandwich in a grand jury. Well, the people of DC are not are in some ways making a protest in the grand jury room. So that just shows you the kind of frictions that are at play now, and a wind-up like this really does heat up the political environment and does make a lot of people scared. Kids aren't going to school. Kids are being ripped off the streets on their way to volleyball, and workers aren't showing up to work out of fear.
Well, all right. Michael Ware with the latest from the United States this morning. Thank you, Michael.